Hi guys, it's France. Welcome to this journal on Monday, week 125. I decided to go back to my vintage book to journal today because I have a guest in my studio, which is one of my kiddos, who is journaling too in his vintage book, as he doesn't have a Coptic binded journal, so that we could work together. So I'm also sticking to basic techniques which I know he can do by himself without having to explain too much, because I don't want to teach anything. I just want him to have fun, but I also know that he wants to copy me. So I'm starting very simple, mixing up some glue, which is 3D gel from Finnavar, with one of my pigments, and this is one of the patina set colors. Using a scraping tool to spread it around on the paper, just because I know that kiddo would like to do this. So today's video is 25 minutes long, but it took me over 2 hours to get it done because of my guest, first of all, and second of all, you will see that the second part, well, it's a bit different. I already have some gesso on the background and some ink that came through from another spread that I did. So I'm going back in with gesso to tone down the difference between the top and the bottom of the paper and to enhance the texture. So just using some basic heavy gesso. And after dry brushing my gesso on the texture, I'm using a baby wipe to take off the excess and to really make the texture pop. This time I'm mixing one of my pigments with soft matte gel, just because I want something that is more fluid. And well, of course I had to go in with autumn leaf. Of course I had to. I needed some rust on there. Next up is this wooden embellishment that already has some metal wrapped around it, because I thought I was going to use it on another project and then I didn't. And I'm just painting it with the rest of my autumn leaf mixture. And now I can go in with Finn's rust paste to really make it look like a rusted piece of metal. While the rust paste is drying some more, I'm going back in with another one of the colors of the same color pigment set, which is still the rustic patina. This time I'm using teal, and I don't want it to be too bluish, so I'm mixing it up with white gesso to tone down the vibrance of the color. So I still want some blue, but I want it to be lighter. So depending on what you mix your pigments with, you will have a different result. And then to the leftover of my mixture, I'm adding the first pigment color that I used to do at the bottom, so that I really have a gradient going on from the top to the bottom. I decided to go back in with the first mixture, the darkest one, to enhance the deepness and the darkness of the bottom of the page. And I'm sorry, my book is too low here for my camera. I have to work a bit higher on my table. And now I'm repeating the same step with the heavy gesso to blend everything and to enhance the texture. So just dry brushing it on there, and you'll see that I will really insist by going in with a palette knife. And now, of course, I need to enhance the rust effect on the page. So first I'm using the honey amber color, which is also one of the rustic patina mixture. And then I will intensify it with autumn leaf again. And I still want the bottom of my page to be darker. So again, the same color I used to start with, this time I'm mixing it up with some glaze. And now I'm really going very softly at the bottom of the page. This is where for me part 2 starts. So I'm starting with the same pigment color that I started with at the beginning, except that this time I'm mixing it with black gesso. Now it won't change the color of the black gesso obviously, but it will add a bit of shimmer to it with a specific color to the shimmer, and that's what I wanted. And again, I'm enhancing the bottom of the page. Now this is part 2 because after filming the first part, I went on a hiking trip in Luxembourg. So I came back home with a completely different inspiration for this spread, which is okay because this is not meant to be something pretty that I want to hang on the wall. This is supposed to remind me later on of what was going on in my life, which is a fun moment in my studio with kiddo and a fun hiking trip in Luxembourg. Hiking involves, of course, a lot of trees, so I used my Majestic 3 stamp, which I designed for Stampatique. And I'm just stamping with that same black gesso mixture that I used to do the edges of the page. And circles. I needed a lot of circles on this spread. This is my splattered mug, and this time I'm just stamping with a brown ink. And I needed circles because it was inspired by the photo that I posted on Instagram and on my Facebook page. So if you haven't seen it, check it out and you'll understand. I picked out a couple of pieces of fabric that I have in my treasure box. First distressing them heavily. Heavily. Is that how you say it? English is such a difficult language. And then getting some cambric ready, of course, giving it some rusty finish using color art solution, water, and my all-time favorite autumn leaf. My embellishments are dry. I know how I want to put them on the paper, but I also know I need to add something more on my page. Well, I want to add something more on my page. And before I go in with some incense to burn holes, I'm making it easier on myself by punching holes in the paper already. And then using an incense stick, I'm burning the edges. And it wasn't easy to do because of all the pastes that I have used to paint my paper with. Now, this is usually something that I do outside, out of security measure. I just wanted to show you very quickly. So I have a wet baby wipe underneath so that whatever falls off my incense stick is, doesn't burn through the rest of my book. Sticking some pages together so that now I can add something behind those holes that I made. This is the leftover of my autumn leaf mixture. I'm just reusing the same spatula to mix a bit more of it. So first I'm marking where I have the holes in my paper, and I'm going to glue down some texture powder and mini art stones from Finnavar. So I'm using soft matte gel because I won't have a lot of texture. And then I'm just applying those two dimensional elements. And now I can stick my two pages together, making sure that I have glue on the two pages so that they really stay together. And as I still have some of my black mixture, I'm using it to intensify the edges of the burn on the holes. And as I still have some of that black paint, I might as well use it to add some more accents here and there. I'm adding my wording, which is a 7 Dot Studio sticker. And if you want to know all the specifics of everything that is I'm using, you can find the complete list of ingredients on my website, which says, this wording says, off the beaten path, which is of course exactly what I wanted to say here. To glue everything in place, I'm using Finn's Heavy Body Gel, which makes it very easy, but you can just use any kind of glue that you have, of course. And I want to add a repetition of those little art stones and the texture powder that I added in the burned holes. So I'm applying just a little bit of soft matte gel into which I'm going to press down some of the mini art stones. And now I'm using up the rest of my paint to paint them. Like I said on my Instagram account, the stones, the rock formations that we saw in Luxembourg really inspired me. So I wanted to add those circles, a bit like we saw in those rock formations. So I'm using a thin stencil and a charcoal pencil, and then using a Q-tip I will blend everything so that it looks a bit softer. And while I'm at it, I can add some accents here and there. That's it for today. I hope you liked today's video. If so, please don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You know just how much I appreciate both. And see you back next time. Thank you. Ta-da!